Welcome back to White Claw Wednesdays, episode 84. We have a special guest today, an old friend of ours from high school, really a great guy, Kyle Mackechnie.
Let's give it up for Kyle.
Nice seeing you guys after several years.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've seen Kyle, so it's cool to document it.
It is. It's been a while.
I think last time I saw you was in Oakland.
College.
Hayward, yeah.
College, yeah. So for those of you that don't know, let's crack these real quick. Let's get a cheers going.
Get a little cheers going.
Yeah. Cheers.
A little cheers there. Cheers up.
Nice.
Oh, room temp.
So
nice.
fun fact, Kyle and I went to college together for a year, right?
Yeah.
You were there for a year,
yeah,
right?
I was there for 1 year.
Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so Kyle went to East Bay.
Had one good year there. And
Yeah, man. We had some good times in the Raw.
Dude.
The rec center there.
The good old Raw, dude.
Yeah.
The worst name for a gym, by the way.
The gym was named The Raw?
It was
Raw.
called the Raw.
Yeah.
That's Raw.
Recreation and Wellness Center.
Yeah.
But, they had everything just that said Raw.
Raw everywhere.
I kind of like that. You guys weren't about it? Is it not as good when you actually are living it?
It was pretty funny when people were walking around with
Definitely.
headbands that said Raw.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That would probably be the only reason that I didn't like it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to the Raw. It kind of you dig it after a while, I think.
You get used to it, but you say it to anyone else. They're like,
Yeah.
You're going to the what now?
Yeah. So a little intro on Kyle here. We went to high school together. We ran cross country, track.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. Tough times.
Oh, great times.
Oh, yeah.
Love that cross country time. Right?
God, good times. I swear I can run a mile under 7 minutes today because of all that time.
Can you really?
No, I'm just.
You haven't tested that
I
theory.
haven't tested
I don't
that
wanna test
theory.
that theory.
No, I definitely
Yeah.
haven't. But I like to think that when fight or flight kicks in, I'm gonna choose flight, and I'm just gonna take off.
Oh yeah.
The old instincts are gonna come back.
Absolutely. I actually did run recently. I did. I've been stuck inside. I'm a software engineer, so I'm literally behind a desk all day. And I was literally just like, I want to work out. And my bike was broken. I have my new mountain bike, and it's broken. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to run. And so I did a 4-mile run, and I seriously have never been so sore in my life. I mean, muscles that I didn't think I had, like the front muscles right here in my calves were so sore. I could barely walk the next day.
Dude, I went running a couple weeks back, and I literally only did a mile. I wasn't trying to do anything crazy. Feet were sore for 2 weeks. Every step I took was just absolutely miserable.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about running, but it's a full body workout is really what it is, and you don't realize the muscles that you had back then that you've been neglecting for so long.
Neglecting since high school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Kyle, you said you got a new job recently, right?
I did. I actually started on Thursday.
So what are you doing right now?
I am an intern at the county, so I am at the assessor's office.
Dude, get out of here.
It's interesting, dude.
That's super cool.
Today I got yelled at for about an hour and a half in Mandarin.
What?
Yeah. She wanted her birth certificate and then to renew her business, and I obviously don't speak Mandarin, and she just it's literally retail but for the government. It's just customer service. Yeah, getting yelled at.
So what'd you do?
I had to call a translator, talk to them for about through the translator on the phone for about an hour. So it was me talking to the translator on the phone to talk to her translator to talk to her.
Oh.
So it was and her translator was also on the phone. So it was like a 4-way conversation, and we got nothing done, and I felt terrible. I had to call security on a 60-year-old woman.
You had to call security on her?
She wouldn't get out. She was shoving stuff through the little little glass we have, and was shoving her phone in there, and I was like,
transfer station. Oh wow.
I was like, dude, we have to I was like, what do I do? Because I just started. I was like, what do I do? I asked my manager, and she was like, honestly, she's like, if they don't leave, you have to call security. We've already done everything for her. Yeah. We just gotta get her out of here. So I was like,
it's funny that you say it's like retail, but for the government, because
I like that.
It sounded like a retail job where people are just hammering you for something, and you're like, I can't do anything about it. That happened to me so many times when I worked at Robert Wayne.
Wait, what Robert Wayne did you work at?
In Hayward.
He also worked in Tyler for a little bit, and the Riverside one for a little bit.
That's right. Yeah.
I applied at the Robert Wayne up in Hayward, and
you didn't.
Yeah, so my freshman year, I applied up there, and I told them I was like, I cannot work during winter break because obviously I don't. East Bay is not gonna let me live there for winter break, and I told him that. So he hired me as a seasonal for wintertime. And so I show up for my first shift, and he's all like,
smart.
Yeah, bro, can't really keep you on. And I was like, then why'd you hire me?
Dude,
like,
it was that Steven? Do you remember his name?
No, I don't. It was so many years ago.
Was Steven a dumb guy?
I mean,
no offense to Steven.
He's a great guy. Let me preface this by saying that.
Okay.
Cool manager, but took the job I think a little too seriously. Like for instance, that right there. It's like I'm a college student. I'm just trying to part time do this, on my off days and stuff. But he was very much like in the world of like Robert Wayne, my store, that type of deal.
Yeah.
Like it was very big. It was big, which I guess is a good trait to have as a manager.
True. So Kyle, you said you told this person like I can't work during the winter time.
Yes.
Because I'm a college student, and then he hired you as a seasonal worker to work during the winter time. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah. So okay, I went in asking for a job because I had worked at Vans prior to that. So I was like, oh, like a shoe store, easy. Like,
okay, yeah.
So I go apply, and he takes me outside for my interview. So we take a walk. Like we take a walk together outside for my interview, and he hires me, and he told me, he's like, so when are you available to work? I was like, well, I leave in 2 weeks for winter winter break, but then I'm back in it was like late December, early January, or something like that. And I tell him I'll be back, and he was like, all right, cool, yeah. So like I'll call you, gives me the job, show up for my first day, and I literally go home like 5 minutes later.
Pretty sure it was Steven. Yeah.
That sounds like him?
I can't believe you applied there.
Yeah.
I literally worked there the beginning of my sophomore year.
Yeah, no, I went to apply at Robert Wayne, yeah.
So would you have worked together had he worked there? Is that what you're saying?
No, because I had left
okay.
by that time. By winter break, I was working for housing. My sophomore year, which was your freshman year, right?
Yeah, my freshman year.
Exactly. Wow, dude.
Small
I totally
world.
could have got you the job, too.
Dude, well,
I could have hit up Steven and been like, yo, dude, come on.
Dude, well, my guy was just not having it. So.
Stop being a baby. All right, so internship. That's awesome. So that's a really cool title. I mean, honestly. What else are you doing there?
At that job, basically all I'm doing right now is I help people get like the deed to their house, birth certificates, death certificates, stuff like that.
Oh.
I married someone this morning.
What?
I'm ordained, yeah. So like I just like they come in for their wedding, and then like I just like I put on like I get on this little like red robe, and I go stand there, and then I marry him, and then they walk out.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I it's my third shift, and I married someone today. They're like, oh, it's okay if you mess up. I was like, is it?
Yeah, really
like,
though.
They're getting married.
Now, what do you think? Looking at the two of them, what are their chances? Can they make it all the way, or
they had a cute ass kid, man. That baby. She was all dressed up, and that kid was just like she thought it was her celebration. Like she was like standing there, she was holding her parents' hands. She was having a great time.
So
sounds like
it's almost like you can elope in Riverside.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Well, you could what in Riverside?
Elope.
Elope. Oh, okay, yeah.
Just rendezvous in Riverside and hit up Kyle Mackechnie.
Dude, go to the assessor's office. It's near Mobile, but I mean, like, same difference,
So you could get married without doing anything, like, money-wise, right? Like, you could just do this, like, go to Kyle and you're good?
You do the little application, and then you
it
pay,
probably
like,
costs some money, right?
Yeah, you pay a fee, but then after that, you're done.
But that's all?
Yeah.
Sweet. Why aren't people doing that?
You guys want to get married? I'll
well,
put that little right now.
I feel like...
Are you looking at me right now?
Well, I'm just thinking I think that could bump views for the podcast if, like, we were, like, a married duo. But you also got married to Amanda too.
Live episode, I get married to Amanda or something like that.
Live episode, and then you get married to me.
Double wedding.
I'm saying Kyle marries us right now.
Oh, is that
legal?
legal?
For a big scandal.
It makes I don't know. Can you be married twice? Can you be married once for business and once
you definitely
for pleasure?
Can't. You definitely
can't.
Okay.
But you could file a divorce through me too. So you file the divorce through me right before.
Okay, so we'll just be married for a little bit just to get views up, and then we'll get divorced, and you'll get married to Amanda.
After your first big time movie, I think that might be a good way to get publicity.
Yeah,
that could be good. Yeah.
And I'll just marry you guys at that.
So did you know this, Kyle? Frank actually needs to be ordained soon.
Oh.
Why is that, Frank?
Because I am the officiant for Ryan's wedding.
Look at this.
Can you believe that?
Look at this guy.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm making all these jokes out here, but I actually do have marrying people responsibilities coming up.
You can also fill that out at the county office, Frank.
I can?
You can.
Oh,
yes.
my
You can
God.
get ordained at the county office. It's
Look
like
at
one of
that.
the little things we got. I haven't done it yet, but
Okay.
you can.
Okay. I found this website that seems pretty legit, and it says it's free, so
Hey, let's hope.
I might, if that doesn't shape out, I'll definitely come to you at the county office for sure.
What he means by legit is easy. That's what he means.
It looks very easy, and it looks official. You know when you see a website and it's like, okay, I trust this website.
Yeah.
I trust that guy.
It looks like it's been built by someone that knows what.
It doesn't look like one of those old grainy websites from like 2005, like little like blue links on the bottom, like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the HTML link.
Yes.
I know
little
exactly what that
hyperlink
is.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Awesome, man. So, what else are you up to right now? I know you said that you had a few projects going on.
Yeah. As of right now, so along with my job, I'm a boxing coach on the week, like throughout the week and stuff like that.
I did want to talk to you about that.
So I've been doing that for a little while. Yeah, a little.
Okay.
Little 1, 2.
Okay. Bro, let me ask you this.
He posts some clips and they're pretty raw.
Is the punching just the air like this, like back and forth? I'm looking at myself in the camera, like just like doing this.
Yeah, that little thing.
Is that a workout? Is that a boxing workout? Is that an official workout, or is that just something that a movie has lied to me about?
It's definitely something people do for Instagram mostly.
Oh God. Okay. That's good to know because it feels like it can't be that helpful for boxing. It's definitely
skill. Like there's some people that do it for like to show off their hand speed and stuff like that.
That's
to show
what
how
I
fast
think
they
it
can
is.
get it
Okay, yeah.
But like, it's definitely one of those old school boxing techniques. Like, that like they teach you way back that like they think helps you with your hand speed, but you are literally never going to land at that high of a frequency. Ever. Like you're never gonna do that.
Yeah,
this doesn't help you with your punching form.
Yeah,
like,
what are you gonna get someone's head right like underneath
when
your
they're
head?
not like holding your arms or something,
exactly.
you know?
It's literally just to show off that you can move your hands that fast.
Yeah. It's like when you max out or something like that. Yeah. You're like benching. You're like, how much do you bench? It's like how quick can your hands go?
Yeah. It doesn't really do anything for you, but it helps your ego a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No.
So what made you want to coach boxing?
Well, I have like a really bad habit when it comes to sport, like that I go way too hard on, like in cross country. Like I hated running. I always hated that shit.
I think we all did.
I think we all did too.
I think we just liked the people.
Yeah, we liked being together.
It was an awesome group. Yeah, great friends, definitely.
Like so, I ran and then like I ended up hurting myself by like my sophomore year. I popped the bursa sac in my left hip and it just ruptured.
Jesus.
Can't fix it unless I get surgery. So I did that, and then I was rock climbing for a couple years, and then I tore 3 tendons and then broke another finger in my and the tendons just keep re-tearing. So like the only other option I have at this point is surgery, and I was like, well, I don't want to do this. Like,
how'd that happen?
Again, it was overtraining. Like I would go too much, and like it was like a big stress reliever for me. So I just go to the gym and I start climbing.
Yeah.
Started tearing a bunch of tendons out and stuff like that, and so it got to a point where I was like, I'm not even having fun with this anymore. Like it was just miserable. Like I was not having fun anymore. And then so I had boxed for a brief period of time and did a little bit of Taekwondo when I was up at East Bay, and so.
I think I remember you telling me about that. Actually.
Yeah, my one of my old roommates was like he had like a 5-1 pro MMA record, and so he was like a black belt in Taekwondo. So he would just like start show. I was terrible at Taekwondo, absolutely god awful.
Taekwondo is really hard.
Yeah,
I watched it in the Olympics, and I was like, whoa, that is.
It's one of the main fighting styles they use in UFC, right?
It was definitely back in like 2015 to 2016, it was like at its prime.
Oh, really?
But then now it's like all wrestling. Like it's just a bunch of wrestlers, which shit.
Wrestling and striking, probably.
Yeah, which is also hard as hell too.
Yeah, except for Wonder Boy, he's got his little karate.
Love that guy.
Oh, he's
nicest
amazing.
Guy
man.
ever.
Even in defeat, he's awesome.
Who's Wonder Boy?
He's like the nicest MMA fighter.
You probably watched the fight. He recently fought Gilbert Burns. He lost. It was the fight before McGregor versus Poirier 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, we were really drunk during that time, so that's
we
why
were
we
were very weird.
But
so I was like, okay, I just remember the McGregor fight.
Well, it was Sam's birthday, right?
It was Sam's birthday.
Yeah, we went out to LA and celebrated. Anyways, back to the question. So, what made you want to get into it?
So after I had done it a little bit up at East Bay, like I was again bad at Taekwondo, but like I had picked up through like a mutual friend of that roommate. I started doing a little bit of Muay Thai, and I actually really liked it, and so. When I got back from East Bay, I was like, all right, I need to do something else. So I started training for pretty much on my own, just like using YouTube videos and stuff like that. Like I was like binging TJ Dillashaw's YouTube channel like the whole time.
Nice.
Just watched that the whole time, and then did that for about a year. And then I started going to like through another mutual friend, I met like a coach who started teaching me like just basic boxing because I'd only known like Muay Thai or MMA striking, and then. I ended up getting a lot better at it than I thought I did, and then I did some sparring with a couple guys like that I had known through that old roommate that were either pro in K1 kickboxing or pro in like Muay Thai overseas and stuff like that. So I did some sparring with them, and like I was much better at it than I had expected, and so I kind of was like, all right, well I have my new sport now. Now I'm not climbing, so I started doing that, and then right when I was like getting to a point where I was like feeling pretty good about it, I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna just start posting on Instagram, see if I could find boxing clients and stuff like that. And it turned out to go really well. Like I posted some on Instagram. I got like 8 clients in the first week, and so I've been doing that for the past like 4 or 5 months. Just like texting people, being like, "Hey, you want to come at 11 a.m.?" They come over. I have all the gear and stuff like that, and I just hold pads for them and stuff like that, and they just send me money for it. So
sweet.
Damn, that's
kind of
sweet.
nice, dude.
So, did you got into? You said Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Was that at East Bay again, or was that here?
Well, very briefly there, but then it wasn't until I got back that I really, really started to like Muay Thai, because I just wasn't the Taekwondo and like the karate stuff. Like it just wasn't for me. I wasn't good at it. I like it, like, but I just wasn't any good at it. And then Muay Thai just kind of seemed to flow really easily. And my current coach, like, that was something that he just, like, when I first came in, like, he had thought I had already taken Muay Thai somewhere else, because it just was one of those sports that kind of just, it was the first sport ever for me that ever clicked. Like, I've never been good at.
Running never clicked for you?
God, no. God,
really?
hell no.
Well, then you fooled me. You know,
yeah, you were a great runner.
Fake
man.
it till you make it. Man.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Pretend that you like it. But it never, and no other sport has ever clicked for me. Like, I was a terrible soccer player. I played soccer with you before.
You're all right. You're better than this guy. That's for sure.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, but you want to lie to me. I'm pretty
bad.
You're
I like
looking,
to hype up our guests.
You're looking at 3 seasons of prime defense in AYSO, and then 3 more seasons of prime offense in AYSO.
Frank was their lead center back. Big,
you know,
big tall guy, hit the headers out.
I had
That's
I had a move, Kyle, where I would just do one dribble to the left of someone, and I just blow by him.
Just sprint straight by.
Yeah, because I was a lefty, so I had the advantage where I could just kind of kick it around to the left outside and just sprint to the ball and just kind of hook around it and just do a doosh.
It's the beauty of AYSO, man.
Oh man,
just
good times.
Gotta love it.
Speed is so valuable.
That rush of
I was a goalie when
scored
I
a
played
goal.
I was a goalie and I wore glasses, so it was not.
Yeah,
it's not the best recipe.
I played goalie 1 game, I think, and I think I was like 8 or 9 or something like that, and then never again.
Oh,
never again.
No.
My coach just totally pulled me out, I think, before the game even ended. It was like that bad.
Good lord.
Low key, like when the ball is being kicked at you, I'm still scared of it to this day.
It's terrifying.
I mean,
it is.
You see like professional players, and they're like in a wall, and they have their eyes like wide open, and they're like trying to get their head on the ball.
Yeah,
that takes some serious guts.
Oh,
serious guts.
That hurts. It hurts like hell.
And you got to think, when you see something coming at you, your natural reaction is to flinch. Yep. At least close your eyes. Like you see some of these replays, and it's like the ball is coming at them, and they
gotta just take it to the dome.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Also, knowing when you're allowed to use your hands and not was confusing for me.
Are you the keeper? What?
Brian, aren't there times where, like, if your teammate kicks it to you, like passes it to you, you can't pick it up with your hands? Isn't that a rule?
Oh, when you're the keeper.
When you're the keeper, yeah, that's what I was.
That's correct. You can't pass to the keeper, but you can head to the keeper. Yeah.
I had no idea that was a rule.
But you have to head.
No, I'm talking about if you're playing the keeper. Like I was one time at
you can use your hands at all times, but you can't be passed the ball from your own player. And if you're headed the ball by your own player, it has to be from open play. Like you can't like a player can't have the ball. I guess open play is not the right wording, but a player can't have the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
Dribble back to you, get on the ground, and head back to the keeper. You'll get a yellow card for that, which has happened multiple times in professional play.
I had no idea that was a rule.
Probably AYSO as well.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
I've been wrong the whole time. Okay.
What did you think?
I was doing a pickup soccer game a few years ago at a friend's practice, just joining in last minute because like they were doing a scrimmage last 10 minutes, and I was there to pick them up or whatever. And I'm playing goalie, and I keep like picking up the ball with my hands, and I'm getting told like, "Oh, no, Frank, you can't use your hands right now."
It sounds like street play, or they were just messing with you.
Or were they? I don't know, but I was so confused.
Were you outside the box? You have a box that you can be in.
Maybe I was outside
there
the
you
box.
Go. That's
maybe I was
probably
outside the box.
Okay.
Maybe that was it. I'm probably forgetting that key detail because I forgot there was even a box. You know.
Yeah.
To
stay in. Yeah,
exactly.
It is different. It's the most interesting position. And actually, if you want to go professional, it's the position to choose. Not a lot of people are keepers.
No, there's not.
And your keepers are weeded out real early, I think. Like if you know if you're not a good keeper or not. You know, there's not like above average. It's like you're either really good, below average or you suck. You
if
know.
you can't defend the little tiny goal in AYSO, you know right away that you can't defend
Exactly.
the big goal when you get
Exactly.
to middle school.
Dude, one of my favorite things are their gloves.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
soccer gloves?
No, the goalie gloves.
Those
Okay.
things.
Those
oh my
things are
God.
so sweet.
Those things. They were so cool, but they were so raunchy. Like
Raunchy?
raunchy. Like they smelled terrible.
Wait. Okay, hold on, Ryan.
Like
are you using that word? I'm not trying to call out your
No,
your,
go
your,
ahead, go
your
ahead.
word use.
But isn't raunchy supposed to be like it's like dirty, like sexually dirty, like if a movie's raunchy, it's like a lot of like sex
Maybe I'm
talk
using it
and, like-
wrong.
Am I right, Kyle? Does that sound right? If you say, "Oh, this movie's really raunchy,"
I've heard it worded both ways.
Both ways.
Like,
both
okay,
ways,
It's
okay.
like dirty. I think dirty in
It's
general.
just
They're
dirty
just
in
dirty in
general.
general. Okay, so I guess that
I think
would
it's
make,
context.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so
Like-
you're right. We're both right. I had only ever used it.
like heard it used to describe like art.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. Like, oh, that art piece is
Yeah,
raunchy
yeah.
or something.
Well, I mean, they're like gross, basically.
Yeah.
Like imagine you're playing club, and like you're, especially in California. I mean, it's dead heat, and you're wrapping your
yeah.
gloves in there.
Your hand is just
You tie 'em down?
sweating.
Well, you tie your wrist. Yeah.
Okay,
There's like
yeah.
a strap,
Yes, yeah, I didn't
kind
even
of
know
like
you
a
did
boxing glove,
that. Yeah, you
probably.
got a little
Yeah,
strap there.
exactly.
Oh, speaking of, Kyle, are you into boxing movies? Because man, there are some good ones.
I honestly haven't watched a ton of them.
Okay.
I've watched a couple of them, but like
You've watched Rocky, right?
I have watched.
Okay,
Rocky,
cool.
yes.
If you had to like think of one that you consider like a like, if one like the best boxing movie, what comes
Ooh.
to mind? If you
Out of my limited knowledge of them,
Yeah.
I would say Rocky, just for the fact that there are a lot of boxing movies that like the training that they show you in a lot of the movies is so like inaccurate to what you would actually do and stuff.
Oh,
like,
really?
Especially the new
Oh.
ones.
That's interesting.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like again, I liked both the Creed movies and
Yeah.
stuff, but there was a lot of stuff that he did in those movies that was just
really
didn't really seem to make a ton of sense
Wow.
why you would do that
Okay.
to train.
Who would have thought?
Damn, I didn't know
MMA
that. That's
movies
cool.
are way worse though.
Oh, probably.
MMA movies, there's like
Probably.
Have you
right.
seen Warrior?
I have.
What? Okay, I gotta know because I love that movie.
Okay.
So what's Warrior in terms of its legitimacy?
Never even heard
I
of
know
this.
there was a lot of MMA fighters that like they liked the movie, but
Yeah.
they said that like there was like scenes with like jujitsu stuff that weren't even moves that were performed correctly whatsoever.
Oh shit! Okay.
But they made it look really because
yeah.
if you try to do a triangle choke, like where you put your leg around the head to choke them out, like on TV,
Yeah.
you're basically just putting someone's head. Oh, sorry, I just pulled that cord. You're basically just putting someone's head inside of your like groin area and just
Yeah.
pulling.
Okay.
It's not very photogenic, so they have to like fake a lot of them because if not, it's just you putting some dude's face just right.
yeah,
right
yeah,
there,
yeah,
so-
yeah. They gotta.
Yeah.
They gotta make it look good for the camera. You know, they have
Yeah.
to set it. Okay.
Because
I get you.
the actual transitions, it ends up with one guy just like
Yeah.
covering the other dude
Okay.
completely, and like you can't even see him, and then all of a sudden he's choked out. So it's like for a movie purpose, like it would just be
yeah.
it would just not be enjoyable to watch. Like I liked the movie personally. I thought the movie.
Do
was
you
good.
remember the arm break, like the finale of like him refusing to, and he gets his arm broken?
Yeah, he gets his arms. Yeah,
Like
that
now,
was actually one of the.
Was
more
that a
realistic ones.
realistic hold to break an arm? Was
Yes.
that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, arm bars are like super common, but like
Gotcha.
again, those are easy to like show in a movie because like you
Uh-huh.
just pull on the arm,
Yeah.
but
Right.
And they work like
They actually work.
they hurt like hell.
Dude, didn't you see that?
it's crazy to me that like it's just so cool that you can like learn how to like break someone's arm.
Who's that super old guy? He's in the lightweight division. He's like a veteran, and he got armbarred really, really bad recently. I'm totally blanking on his name. He's, oh man,
I'm blanking too. Who,
this
who-
is gonna bug me.
Do you know who fought him?
I can't even think of the other.
Was
person.
it-
No.
I won't be able to help you on this, Ryan.
I'm gonna look him up.
This is all you did.
Keep going.
All
Keep
you.
going.
Yeah.
I know there was another fight recently that was like at like 185 where a guy got his arm snapped. But
Maybe it's
Whoa.
180. Oh, I don't know. His arm didn't get snapped, but
yeah, no, they watching people's arms get snapped though just scares the hell. Like, because at a certain point you know that's locked in. You could just,
Yeah.
Was it Tony Ferguson?
Tony Ferguson.
Okay.
God.
Oh, I thought it was an arm break, but it was with Oliveira, right, where they pulled his arm
Yes.
all the way
there
out.
you go. Yeah. I mean, it
Disgusting.
was gnarly. I mean, he was in it for a cool 10, 15 seconds.
Dude,
It
I
was
think
bad.
he tore his bicep and
yeah.
his shoulder from
Yeah.
that.
So he wasn't tapping or something.
No,
The
he's
dude
just,
has like a freak
he's
human
insane,
pain
man.
tolerance.
He's
So
just
so
insane.
he got pretty much with the hold, and he just refused to tap and
His
like, bend
literally
arm.
his whole arm was like hyperextended.
like
he was
literally his elbow was like that,
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
his actual like shoulder.
Yeah.
it was bent like.
So,
was
so
bad,
okay,
dude.
so
It
his
was
elbow
bad.
pretty much kind of flipped places. Like
Yes.
his elbow was now on the
Yeah,
top.
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
You know when
yeah.
someone's like double jointed, and they go like, "Check this out." And it's like,
So
and you're
pretty
like,
much
"Ah!"
what happened to Giannis's leg in a way.
exactly
that-
like that.
Yeah, that
just forcibly.
You know Giannis of the Milwaukee Bucks, recent NBA champions?
No, I didn't.
Well,
I know who I didn't know it.
He in the Eastern Conference Finals, the series right before the NBA Finals, Giannis had this injury where he goes up for dunk or rebound, I can't remember, but his leg comes down and he does that same like hyperextension thing,
man.
Where the back of his knee is pretty much becoming the front of his knee.
Yeah.
And
It bows.
he was back a week later.
Yeah.
Dude.
With no structural damage, and he won Finals MVP and won the Finals.
That's impressive. He must do some sort of crazy stretching or something to have the.
It was one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen.
That's the only,
he is a great god.
It was
that's
really
the
wild.
only reasonable solution, I think.
Yeah, so imagine that, but getting your arm
But your arm,
position, and it being held there for
Held.
like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
when he's
exactly.
in that position.
And like their job is to like break it,
Yeah, just to keep going. Yeah.
And the guy was pulling full force.
Yeah.
Like, he was not like going easy on him. He was.
Now, can you win in an MMA match, UFC match, with a move that, like a chokehold that will actually, kill someone? Can you win with a move like that?
You're gonna go out a long time before you're gonna die.
Like
you'll
you'll
pass
out and the ref will break it up.
Yeah, the ref will pull you off
okay.
because there's so many guys.
There are some moves I think that are banned.
So there's pretty much no like insta kill moves. Like you have to start with passing them out. Like they have to pass out first in a choke, and then you just choke them to death, pretty much.
Yeah.
For the only ones that are like really like, but like people usually tap like are like neck cranks. Neck cranks are pretty bad.
Right.
But at the same, like I've gotten in a neck crank before.
What is that?
And it's basically a choke, but you don't get under the neck, so you just pull on their head until like they tap. So it pulls, and you end up getting sore from like the base of your neck all the way down to your spine because it just pulls on your spine. It hurts like hell, but you tap far before it breaks.
I've always like had this thought in the back of my mind, like I kind of want to try Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
It's fun.
And then I hear things like that, and then I'm like, no.
Yes, it's mostly a thing of like tap when you feel it. Like, but some people are so competitive that they just refuse to tap.
Yeah. I'm not like that. I just do it more for the training,
Yeah.
There's a new one right here by LA Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know, some famous person.
I think it was like a Gracie Barra one, right?
There you go. Yeah. It's big. I mean, it's a nice gym.
They have some really. They have a couple guys that fight for Bellator, I think. In that gym.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably expensive though.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
But dude, LA Fitness is expensive now.
It is.
I went
we
in
used
there,
to go to that gym.
Yeah, and it used to be $20 or something like that.
I paid $29.99 for a membership for me and my sister.
That is
per month.
Yes,
that's really good.
Now, literally,
what is it now? Is it $80 a month?
Dude, sign up. Well, first of all these gyms are doing annual fees, even if you just get like month to month, which is what I wanted, and you still have to pay an initiation fee. So if you want to sign up, it's basically like $100 initiation. Then you're paying $40 to $50 monthly, and then on the third month of your monthly membership, you have to pay an annual fee of like $50. That's insane.
Oh, so then they're like, okay, so let's say you sign up in January, and then by March you get hit with that annual fee.
Exactly.
And that means that now every March coming forward, you're going to get charged that annual fee. Is
exactly.
That pretty much
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're not cheap anymore, man.
Wow.
No. And how much is it? It's like $70 a month or something like that, right?
Yeah, the one that I had was I think $49, so it's like $50.
Gee.
Which is crazy because that's how much the CAC used to be.
Yeah.
And the CAC, in my opinion, is much better.
Well, I went there for free for like 2 years. So
that is awesome.
I didn't pay a dime there.
That's great.
It was a great time.
You know what's so funny? I can't remember who paid for my CAC membership when I had it. It must have been my mom.
I used to be a guest for a long time.
I think I might have done the guest thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just remember going a lot, and I don't remember ever actually paying.
That's a great gym. It's a really homey gym. You know, you get real settled in. You know where everything's at. You feel real comfortable really quick.
And there's nothing that's more welcoming than when you walk into the locker room. There's just an old man. Just
You feel right at home, right?
You feel like wow, like I feel safe. You know what I mean? Like,
no one's gonna hurt me here.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah. Mentally, there's
mentally,
scars.
yeah,
still hurting, but
and the steam room, oh man,
the steam room was
that was great, but you're rolling the dice anytime you go in there.
You don't know what you're seeing because sometimes it gets so bad you can't see anything.
Exactly.
I remember sometimes when there would, you would discover there was someone else in there halfway through sitting in there.
Oh yeah,
you'd hear someone like clear their throat, and you're like,
what
someone's right next to me.
Yeah.
I went with my friend Noah once, and like we were in there, we did not see the guy like at all. We had no idea he was in there, and he moves, and then Noah just gets bare old man ass right on his lap.
No.
And he just sits there and he's like, "Excuse me," and the old guy goes like, "Sorry," and just moves over. Doesn't leave. I would have left. I would have ran.
Yeah,
dude. That man just stayed in. He was like,
awkward.
"Sorry about that," and just sits across.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Another thing I remember about that is some guys like the eucalyptus oil, and they would spray it like no tomorrow, man. Like I liked the eucalyptus oil; it really helped you breathe and stuff. But then it was at to a point where my eyes were like watering, and
they burn.
It's like I couldn't get the freshness. It felt like I was breathing in an iceberg or something. You know, it was way too much.
Yeah.
And then you get the guys that were super chatty.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting in there like
you don't want to chat because you don't want to work too
and
much.
And your post workout, you're just in your own head, and then
some guy just wants to sit there and stew with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That place is great though.
Great gym, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I have a question for you because I think earlier we were talking about Taekwondo, and I think I was thinking of Muay Thai.
Okay.
What is the difference between Taekwondo and Muay Thai?
Muay Thai is Muay Thai. They call it like the art of 8 limbs. So in Muay Thai, you're allowed to use knees, kicks, punches, and elbows, and so you're allowed to use any sort of. It's probably the most effective form of striking as far as like self-defense and offense, in the sense that like you have really good like leg kicks, which are obviously have been like extremely detrimental in recent MMA fights.
Yeah.
Just calf kicks, man.
Big ones.
And with Muay Thai, like a big component of your game in Muay Thai is going to be leg kicks, and you also build up like this insane level of shin density to where like you're not going to see those cracks and stuff like that in your shin bone because you're I mean, like the guys from Thailand, they're kicking trees. They don't use heavy bags half the time. They just like when they start fighting at like 8 years old, and so they just fight.
So their shins must be like steel plates.
Yeah, like it's definitely one of the if you're getting into any sort of striking and you're looking for a way to like defend yourself, it's very practical because you're not going to end up in a position where like Taekwondo, there's no training on clinches, so you can't grab each other. With Muay Thai, you definitely you're allowed to grab like the back of the neck, and you could sweep, so you could push them onto the floor and stuff. So it's a lot more well-rounded, and you also will know how to strike and how to defend yourself against someone. Like if there's a boxer, like okay, now you have an edge on them, but then like if a wrestler tries to grab you, you still have a little bit of a knowledge of grappling. As we're with Taekwondo, it's a lot more about like sliding in and out of the position. It's a lot more about landing like with Taekwondo, there's a lot of people learn point Taekwondo before they learn any sort of like MMA based Taekwondo.
Right, which is what they do at the Olympics.
Yes, and that's why that one guy who got knocked out.
Yeah.
Like he got gold because you can't knock each other out in Taekwondo.
Right. Okay, that's BS. Can we just talk about that?
Would you say that Muay Thai is more offensive and Taekwondo more defensive?
Taekwondo is actually heavy on offense. It's a lot more of like explosive fast kicks. So it's like the goal isn't necessarily to cause damage because Taekwondo isn't graded off of damage. It's graded off of accuracy and like the way you strike.
Okay.
Muay Thai, the number one grading criteria is damage. So the more damage you cause, the more lethal strikes you can get going. Yeah. That's how you kind of base Muay Thai and like how you score it. So
what was the term you used for Muay Thai in terms of like 8 limbs, right?
Yeah, they call it like the way that like a lot of like they word it is called the art of 8 limbs. So it's just basically because
because you're like doubling on each limb because it's like now I'm using my elbow, so that's 2 here, 2 here, and then my knee, and that's 2 here, 2 here.
And then you get So that's
sweet. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a
cool.
It's
a cool
pretty
sport.
Cool. Yeah, it's the only other sport that like has like similar rule sets, but that I absolutely hate is, have you guys heard of Lithway?
Yeah.
Wait, say that again?
Lithway. It's Muay Thai, but with headbutts.
What the
So they use headbutts as like a way to like score points and to like damage each other, but like there's not a single guy in Lithway that's like does not have CTE. Like it's terrible. They train headbutts.
Well, it's not legal here, is it?
No, you can't. You can't train Lithway here.
You got to do it in what is it? Myanmar, Burma. They're hardcore over there.
Yeah, it's a crazy sport.
I listened to a podcast with the like reigning champion in Myanmar, and apparently it's like that's the biggest sport over there. And it's brutal. I mean, no pads, no nothing.
Just head on head.
I think you get wraps.
You use rope.
Oh, okay.
Rope. Okay.
They tie your hands with rope instead of doing hand wraps.
Dude, it is crazy.
Dude, that's Daredevil shit right there. Like
the
Netflix series Daredevil.
Yeah.
A lot of his like I think in the 3rd season he does part of his outfit is wrapping the ropes. And it's specifically that style of fighting that
it's
like
an old
using.
Muay Thai wrap that he uses, but Muay Thai and Lithway, since they're such a close associated sports, Muay Thai progressed and got like they're like, okay, well we can make Muay Thai boxing gloves where they have like a little bit of padding on the inside, like or protect your hands. But Lithway just never. I mean, obviously they're hitting each other in the head. It's not going to go fast.
It's hardcore.
That rope shit is so cool because not only do I feel like it hurts the person you're hitting more, but I feel like it also hurts you more.
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like you're like squeezing rope, and it's like banging up against you as you're. It's just so cool.
I feel like it's used just to almost like tie your hands down. You know?
It prevents you from breaking the hands.
See, there you go.
That's the whole point.
There
It
you
protects you
go.
from breaking your hands because if you
Dude,
have like
I think
a grip
Daredevil
bar,
says that in the
Right.
show too, because he throws so many punches and he punches so hard. It's like,
I mean, people break their hands all the time.
badass.
Was there ever an episode where he's like in Myanmar doing the way?
No, but
that would be hardcore.
In the third season, like when he's wrapping up, he's like I think he talks about like why he's using the rope.
Yeah.
And part of it is to like be able to throw more hard punches without hurting your hands.
You know what I've been watching recently?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have Apple TV Plus.
Oh yeah, I do.
I don't pay for it, but I got like I don't know how. I literally just opened the app on my computer.
It was the first time you opened the app.
Yep.
And you got the 1 year free.
Boom. There you go.
Unfortunately, my year already went away because I opened the app a year ago.
Okay. But that's the little thing they give you. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, because I heard you could get like 3 months free or something like that. So I opened the app, and I really wanted to watch Ted Lasso, which I also, first of all, I binged everything.
It's fire, right?
One of the funniest shows I think on TV right now. I think
It's really good.
Maybe I'm biased because I like soccer. But
yeah. It's
and
funny.
obviously I'm from America and I follow the English Premier League. So
yeah, and wasn't what I was saying about it being like one of the first shows I've seen to where the main character is just all good.
Oh yeah,
You know,
he's really just
he's really just a sweetheart. Like it's
Yeah.
funny. It's just funny because of how sweet
Yeah.
he is.
No, it's a great show. You guys should watch it. But anyways, speaking about Daredevil, he's blind, right?
Yeah, he's
He's
blind.
blind, and he uses like all his other senses.
All those are senses, exactly.
There's this other show on Apple
Oh,
TV
C.
Plus. C.
Is it good?
I'm on the 3rd episode. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It is pretty good, but it's a similar concept.
It's got Jason Momoa in it, Kyle.
Yeah. So Jason Momoa is
Aquaman.
big.
Yeah, and I've seen ads for it, but I haven't watched it at all. No.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna watch it, but I just had Apple TV open, finished Ted Lasso, and I was like,
Fuck it.
why
watch
not?
something, right?
You know?
I got that year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got that year. You
I
got
gotta
more
use
time.
it.
Yeah.
So basically, the premise is that there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
Haha.
Hey.
So many shows
Never
are coming
that,
out. Like
yeah.
I know. There's a pandemic, and like 95% of the population died, and the 5% that I guess I don't know had some sort of gene that saved them.
Yeah, we're blind people.
Well, no, but they got blind basically.
Oh, okay.
So everyone is blind now
Mm-hmm.
because they fought off the virus, but one of the symptoms is like you lose your vision essentially. And it's like centuries in the future, so like 500, 600 years. Basically, sight is like a myth now, and it's like kind of like voodoo stuff, where like if you say it, you're like witchcraft, that type of thing.
Okay.
Anyways, someone gets born with sight, and that's
That's like the
That's-
start of the
Okay.
show.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, they're back almost in like the Stone Ages. Like they're using
that's
like
what the pandemic
blunt
did to
force
them,
stuff. Like they're building huts and stuff like that, and it's just it's so funny to see, or it's just cool to see.
That reminds me of like what you're saying, like, oh, then someone's born with sight.
I love when movies and TV shows do that. It's kind of like what Maze Runner did. I guess it's based on books, but Maze Runner did with like, okay, here's a bunch of dudes. Oh, suddenly a girl is introduced, and like everything like takes off in a way. Like there's always like that.
Oh yeah.
You're
outlier.
yeah, you're looking exactly. You're looking at this new world, and then you're like, wow, the one difference of this world is X, and then the show takes off when a single form of X like returns, and it's like, okay, now we're back to like this normal.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, nobody can see, but now one can see. It's like, boom, you're rolling.
Ruins the whole hierarchy in the movie.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
just kicks off a great series, I assume.
It's pretty good so far. I really like how they're really emphasizing how sight, like the whole mythical lore is that like sight ruined humanity. Basically, like we created machines and we did all this stuff, and we ended up basically killing our planet, or our planet attacked us back.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing is about like sight being bad and stuff like that. And
Interesting.
yeah, so which kind of makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense. If we didn't have sight, like
We would
definitely not be as far as we are.
I
Obviously,
mean, if you just let go of cars in general, like that's going to change the world
Boom.
drastically.
And also
transportation.
you completely take away half of humanity's instinct to judge.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah,
like
that's another good point.
You see someone and you instantly have like half an idea of who they are just based off like looking at them.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if you took that away, then everybody would literally be equal in a way.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the show too.
Yeah.
Is like that's the main component of like judging people is like sight.
It really
which is so true.
Gets rid of the
Holy
first
shit.
impression.
Yeah, it
Like,
does.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's
I
all
didn't even think of that.
personality. It's all personality, you know.
Gotta be a pretty cool guy.
Everyone stab your eyes out.
Yeah, everybody, let's go blind together.
It's a solution.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a good show. Also, Ted Lasso's a good show. So
Come check him out.
yeah, man, just sign up or just
Hey,
open the app.
Open the app if you
You have an
an
iPhone, right?
I do have an iPhone.
All you gotta do
All you
is
gotta
open
do is
the
open
app.
the app. You get a year free.
Okay, I gotta do it then. 'Cause
Yeah.
I need to watch it apparently.
Yeah, no, it's a cool show. So boxing, man. Let's get back to boxing. So you're picking up clients here in Riverside, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So if anyone wants to do it, hit Kyle up.
Yeah, let me know. It's really cheap.
What's your Insta at?
Kyle _ Mackechnie or Kyle Mackechnie. I have two. One is just like
Swear to
boxing
God.
stuff, and one is
okay,
just
okay,
like
okay.
my Instagram that I never use. But
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're enjoying that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I would love to do. Right now I do it like crazy cheap, just because like usually the average price is like $60 for like an hour session.
Mm-hmm.
I do like $15-20 or something like that. It's mostly just as a way for me to like pay for my gas bills and stuff like that. Like if I have
practice too.
Yeah, helps me out too, because like the better you get at holding pads, like that will actually work your hand speed more than the little
Yeah,
like,
more than the little hand.
yeah,
hand
getting ready
pump I
to
was
catch
doing.
all like the punches and stuff. Like it helps you with your hand speed a lot, your footwork, and like how, like when you coach, like when you teach someone something, it kind of reteaches you.
Yeah.
So me constantly redoing that stuff, like my footwork's gotten better. Like
I'm
relearning ways to strike that like I probably learned bad techniques or something like that when I was teaching myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of nice to go back and like relearn the whole sport. So it's a lot of fun. I like it.
Would you ever do like an amateur fight or no?
Yeah, I actually was supposed to do one in
get outta here.
beginning of 2020, but then obviously
Wow.
everything happened, so that didn't work out.
Dang it, man! I've heard that line so many times.
Yeah.
No, it's like I was about to start doing this,
I
and then COVID happened.
Yeah, I was actually signed up for a fight out in Vegas. Was what I was gonna do. I was
Dude,
gonna go compete.
get out of here.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna-
sick.
It was gonna be an amateur kickboxing because I wanted to do purely kickboxing. It was gonna be you had a chance to fight about 20 fights in that day, but they're all 2-3 minute rounds, and so that was gonna be what I was gonna do. So a lot of people they'll do when they do amateur fights, they'll try to like work a couple amateur fights and like then get a pro card.
Right.
My goal was to just see, okay, well let's go into like a 30 fight thing, go in there. If I can win a bunch of fights, then I'll apply for a pro card.
But
just
how it is,
get
yeah.
it. Don't waste my time with the whole like test the waters, like go
Right.
do a couple fights. Like I was just
Yeah.
gonna be like, all right, well let's just do 30 of them. That's like they do like a bunch of competitions, see how well I do, and if I do well enough, then I get my pro card. If not, then we can just stick to the coaching shit.
Yeah. Nice, man. Nice.
Dude, like Vegas is the place where I just feel like amateur sports are at its peak. You know,
Oh,
like,
good point.
Especially fighting.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Fighting everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh man, makes sense though. You know.
So who's your favorite like fighter? Do you have one?
Ooh, right now, if I'm gonna choose from like well-known fighters,
Sure.
as far as like UFC, like MMA goes, it's probably Israel Adesanya, just because of the style.
Good shout.
That's like
Yeah.
Style bender. That's his
And the
nickname.
confidence, the record. I mean, you can't even. You
I
can
was
hate on
watching
him.
him
but-
back in his kickboxing days. So I was a
right
big
on.
fan of him when he was a
Right on.
kickboxer. So I was watching him all throughout like his days of like Glory and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So he was just someone that I really liked his striking style, and so when I was learning, I would watch a lot of his kickboxing fights. So I learned like that little question mark kick he does and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I learned a lot of that stuff from there.
Yeah.
And then as far as like not as like they're well known to like a lot of people who like are really into like Muay Thai, but Liam Harrison is like a really good European fighter.
Oh, okay.
That he's a Muay Thai specialist. He fights in Japan now for one championship, but he's just that dude's crazy.
Wow.
If you're ever interested in looking up a really crazy good fighter,
So there are other fighting leagues around the world, like
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so similar to how like you can play, you know, a professional sport like basketball overseas, you can fight in other places like
the
that.
UFC
The
is
UFC.
like the biggest one for combat
Yeah,
sports, and then underneath that there's like Bellator, there's one championship, and then there's like a couple other ones, but one has a really cool format because they do kickboxing, Muay Thai, and MMA. But once you're signed to the organization, you could just choose which one you want to do. So if you could do kickboxing with like the actual big kickboxing gloves, you could do MMA with you could do Muay Thai with MMA gloves, like, or you could do or Muay Thai with Muay Thai gloves. You could you could switch it around a lot, so it's kind of cool.
That's kind of how the UFC actually used to be, I think, because
When they were under Pride and stuff like that. Yeah,
I think
the
so.
WC.
when they were, I just have seen a bunch of like old UFC fights, and you would dress like your specialty. Yeah. So some guy would be like in a karate, I forget the name that they're called, but a karate like garment, you know. Yeah. And then
they need to bring that back.
Another person would be in a wrestling tee, you know, those like onesies, and
there are no weight classes too. No weight classes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you could be a super heavyweight.
That is insane, actually.
At like 300 pounds, and you could fight a boxer, but like the boxers would fight with like one boxing glove, but then one free hand, so they could grab you and stuff.
That is kind of ridiculous.
And they could kick you, but they could wear boxing shoes in the ring. So if you were a boxer and you learned how to kick, you could have boxing shoes on in the ring.
Wow. See, that's back. No rules.
Okay. I'm gonna give EA Sports. If you're listening, you're gonna want to take this.
Sponsor my guy.
Okay, so pretty much new UFC video game. And it's called like, you call it something like UFC OG, UFC Throwback, whatever. And you make the video game in the style of the rules that Ryan's talking about.
Exactly.
Where you're choosing a fighting style and you're picking an outfit based on that fighting style. And then you're like trying to do crazy, feats in the game, like be a 180-pound fighter and beat a 250-pound fighter. Like crazy shit like that. That'd be a sick game, dude.
That would.
And also a bunch of dumb stuff in there, like the one glove boxer or something like that.
The one glove, and then put every athlete that's ever been famous in there. You can fight as Mike Tyson against
team fights.
Like
the WWE.
You could do
oh my god.
You could do like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, or freaking Muhammad Ali against I don't know, Kyle Chandler. The Kyle Chandler, that's an actor. Who's the Chandler guy?
Michael Chandler?
Yeah, Michael Chandler. There we go. Yeah, so you could do like, man, that'd be sweet. I don't know. I mean, they should definitely, obviously they got to keep the weight classes, but I think they should go back to like you're dressed in the style that you like want to fight in. Because imagine if Khabib was out there in like a wrestling unitard. For his like 29-0 wins. That would have been sick,
UFC should put that in their next upcoming game, but you have to like max out your character, and then you can put him in, you can dress him in like a tutu or something.
Just whatever you want to wear, because
that would be lit. I mean, talk about someone wanting to grind out a game to put Khabib in a tutu. I mean, come on,
it's a win.
That would make so much money.
They put McGregor in a little leprechaun fit or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this
like
is
create your character.
A good game idea.
EA.
Yeah, come on,
this guy.
EA Sports.
Come on, y'all.
Game, dude.
Let's make this. Let's make this
happen.
big. Yeah.
You can just use it.
Just give him credit. Just put his name at the end.
I mean, yeah, that'd be nice. I'm not even asking for money. I would just love to see it for the community.
You know how like you beat a game and there's like this super long end credits that no one ever watches.
Yeah.
Just put Frank Jacobs the very last.
Don't even put the last. Just put Frank. just no Frank. Explanation. Just Frank.
Yeah. And then put WCW right after.
There you go. There you go.
But fun fact about watching the credits, Call of Duty Zombies, Nazi Zombies,
Mm-hmm.
World at War back in 2008 when that game came out. In order to actually unlock Zombies mode, you had to beat campaign and then watch the entire credits for the campaign. And then when the credits ended, the Zombies map started. And then following that, it would just appear as a game mode to play. Yeah,
that's pretty sick. I never played World War Zombies. Well, I mean, I played it, but I never played the game.
You never actually played the game like during its
Never
run?
had the game.
Yeah.
I was really bad. I was terrible.
Oh, I mean,
no,
we all were back then.
Yeah.
Still am.
Yeah, I can't keep up with these new games, man, honestly. I don't even have PS5 anymore, but I do want one. Yeah. Definitely my next big purchase. All right, anyways, I want to talk to you about this whole charity thing you got going on. So why don't you just give a little rundown on it? Yeah,
so basically a couple months back, I started a little nonprofit with a friend of mine from work called the Empty Canvas Project. If anyone's interested, look us up on Instagram. We literally have 2 posts. We just started. Launched. But basically, that's always been my goal. I've always wanted to do some sort of charity work. Mm-hmm. My big end goal that I've always wanted to do was I've always wanted to open up a kind of like a boys and girls club for children who have like rough home lives, to kind of have mentorship from people who I've been very fortunate in my life. Like I had a relatively like dramatic childhood, to say the least, and I got very lucky to know a lot of people that were successful and like taught me a lot of good things. I had good influences around me, but then for every person that's taught me something good, I've known someone that's gone through something way worse and has never had those good influences.
Right, yeah.
And so my goal was to open up like a nonprofit for like to kind of mentor these kids. And then when I was working at Vans, I was working with a friend of mine named Allie, and her goal has always been to like do like a homeless outreach program and stuff like that, because she also had, I mean, as bad as my childhood was, bless her heart, she's been through stuff that I can't even imagine.
Right.
So she's always felt like she wanted to give back and like do stuff. So one time I went with her and her family to just go. We went out. It was Thanksgiving of 2019. We went out to LA, and we made like, I think like 80 plates of spaghetti, and we bought a bunch of clothes from like thrift stores and socks and stuff, and we just walked from tent to tent in like the worst part of LA and handed out food.
That's awesome.
And like
man.
It was stressful. Like people, like a lot of people on the streets are sick. You know, like they
mental illness,
problems.
right?
Yeah, like there's a ton of things going on. Like as ridiculous as some of the circumstances you go through, like doing that stuff, you have to remember like they're not doing it because they're not in the right headspace. Like it's like, and you have to remember that stuff because it gets frustrating. Like
right.
They say stuff to you that's pretty offensive. They'll do stuff that's pretty harsh. But anyways, it led to her and I having a conversation one day, just kind of about like life and like about the things we had gone through as kids, and it kind of just came up that like I had been looking into starting a charity and I was getting the licensing, and she had been doing the same thing, so we kind of just started like working on it together. So we're starting.
Small world.
I know.
Vans, shout out.
I know. Shout out to Vans, man. But happened to kind of work out because she was already a really close friend of mine that I hung out with a lot.
She go to Poly?
No, she didn't. She did not go to. No, she went to. Oh man, I don't know what school she went to, but she lived in like over by like the Tyler Mall area and stuff like that. Okay. But she went to school out there, and hell of a kickboxer, by the way. Girl kicks hard as shit.
She would probably kick my ass.
She bruises my leg all the time. But her and I had just started talking about it and stuff like that, and we are currently working on like our first project right now. We're getting all the paperwork together and stuff like that, but we're doing we're calling it the grocery project. So we're just going to go around. Basically, we have about 7 or 8 different businesses in the Inland Empire that are all going to set up donation centers, and we're going to go around and for like about 3 weeks do a food drive. And then after that, her and I are going to go from place to place out in just in the Inland Empire. We're just going to go drive until we find people, and we're going to go out and give out meals and stuff like that, food, socks, stuff like that. Because socks are like one of the biggest thing that people on the streets.
Right, I've heard that.
It's like the biggest thing they could need.
We had a sock drive at my work. Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do, and so we're working on that right now. But it's just something that's very, very close to the heart for both of us, and we're really excited for it because it's something that we both always wanted to do, and it's kind of just finally coming together. So I'm excited.
That's amazing,
Thank
man.
you.
I mean, you're really putting your effort where your mouth is. You know,
I appreciate it.
It's like a lot of people in life, including myself, always talk about wanting to do more, but for you to actually go out, get the freaking LLC, do the paperwork, and
pain in the ass.
I'm sure it was, man. Luckily, you work for the city, so.
Well,
I'm sure
technically we're not licensed yet, but
just kidding.
But for charities, if you're doing like charity work and stuff like that, you only really need like the licensing for tax purposes,
right?
Because we're giving out food, like
the 501c, right?
Charitable deed, like it doesn't. We obviously can't get in trouble for giving food, but.
So how are you guys taking donations?
As of right now, we're only doing because we don't want to take anyone's like cash donations until we've proven that we can get like follow through with these projects. You know what I mean? Like we don't want people like donating their money to us and having us like, because she just graduated college and stuff like that. She just graduated from Fullerton like a month ago.
Oh, right on.
So she just graduated from there. I'm transferring right now because I finally started going back to school.
Are you going to Fullerton?
No, I'm trying to go to Fullerton. I'm trying to transfer. I'm in the process.
I'm about to do my master's there.
Oh, well, maybe we might end up at school together.
I know.
I'm transferring like probably.
Could you imagine?
That'd be fun.
Round 2, baby.
Amanda's getting her teaching credential there too.
Oh yeah, so I might be there pretty soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of it's something that her and I have wanted to do for a long time, and like we just decided that like no cash donations until we can follow through with at least like 3 projects and show that like we're actually going to be doing the work. It's not stuff that's going to be like. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people that like say that they're gonna do good things with money they've been given, and they just follow through with it. And then those people donated that money because maybe they didn't have the time to do those good things. You know what I mean? They didn't have the time to do those stuff, but that donation was their way of doing those things. And like when you take from those people and like you don't do anything with it, it's just like I never want to be that person. So we decided we're gonna do. As of now, it's only gonna be like food, waters, and stuff like that. Like anything that's like an actual like.
Tangible.
Yeah, like anything that's tangible, like we're gonna donate, and like that's the only thing we're accepting for now, just until we can at least prove that we can get it done. That's
a sign of a complete legit charity, I gotta say, you know.
Yeah, your head's in the right area. I think you guys got a really good thing going.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, man. I think you had mentioned something about the homelessness and stuff to me earlier. We've talked about it many times on here, but
we have, yeah.
It's something that hits home for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived in San Francisco for a year, and I mean, it is a crisis. It really is.
It's terrible.
And just to see people just literally rotting away, you know, either on drugs or mental illnesses has just taken them down a path. And, you know, a lot of people feel helpless. It's just tragic to see. And I feel like society has gotten really numb to seeing it, you know, just like it's the new normal.
Oh yeah.
Which is just so sad. And it's only getting worse.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, LA, San Francisco, I mean, these places are literally being overrun by people who haven't been dealt a good cards, good hand, excuse me. Or people make mistakes, you know?
Yeah. It's
and
easy.
It's easy to make mistakes. And especially if you don't have a support system. I mean, I'm so lucky. Like, if I was ever in a situation where I was just completely, you know, out of luck and I've literally messed up, I've, you know, dropped out of college, was doing drugs, whatever, you know, my family would take me in. My family would pay for rehab. My family would try really hard to get me back, you know, in a good place. And a lot of people don't have that, you know.
No, they don't.
A lot of people don't have that.
Like that's one of the biggest problems with it is the fact that, like, people kind of look at, like, the people on the streets and they kind of think that it's like a whole separate entity. They don't think that, like, all those mistakes they could have not even done anything massively wrong. It literally could have just been like, oh, they lost their job and they had no family. You know, there's some people who are by themselves.
Didn't have parents.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't have a support system, you know?
Yeah, and, like, everyone thinks, like, oh, they're on drugs or they're, like, crazy or something like that. A lot of people have those really negative connotations with it. And in reality, like, from going out there and actually passing out food, you come to find out that there's a lot of people out there that are just like, I met one guy. I talked to him out in LA. He was this homeless guy, super nice dude. Him and his wife, his business went under. Like, he owned a restaurant, business went under. His daughter was out in college at Ohio State. And I don't know if this daughter happens to have the internet, but if she does and she somehow sees this, your dad's a really good dude, by the way. But anyways, this guy, his daughter was going out to Ohio State. Him and his wife, they knew the business was going under. They knew that their daughter was, like, they wanted their daughter to finish college. Yeah. So this dad sold his house, sold whatever assets he had left, sold his car, bought a tent, sent all the money to his daughter, and said, I need you to finish school. And him and his wife were living on the streets of LA.
Jesus Christ.
And it's like, that man has done, and not only has he done nothing wrong, he's done obscenely good things. Like, for the people he cares about. And he literally, like, didn't ask her to house them, didn't ask them, like, her for any help, literally just said finish school, gave her the money.
That doesn't even register with me.
Yeah.
I can't even, I physically,
the
mentally
amount of sacrifice that takes,
understand that, you know? It's just so heavy and it's so real.
Yeah.
It's just situations that you're not in. There's a great YouTube channel. It's called Invisible People. And this guy, he's based in LA, and he'll just talk to homeless people about their stories and stuff like that. And sometimes it's drugs, sometimes it's mental illnesses like schizophrenia, things like that. But a lot of the stories are just about people that just kind of have some bad luck. They're like, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I lost my job and I couldn't pay for rent, and I haven't been able to get a job since. And he's like, and I've been on the streets for 10 years. It's like, Jesus.
And that's the hardest part is,
could happen to anyone.
Once you're out there, it's so hard to get back on your feet.
Right, because you don't have an address.
You can't.
Where are you going to send your paycheck?
Even the basics. How are you going to go get an interview if you can't cut your hair? You can't shower.
Yeah.
You can't.
You don't have clothes for the internet.
Right.
I mean, the interview. Yeah.
It's you're trapped almost.
And one of the worst parts about San Francisco specifically is that, like, the Bay Area in general, is that there is so much open housing there, but because the prices are so high, there's enough housing in the Bay Area to house everyone that's on the streets out in San Francisco.
That makes sense because it's everything squeezed together. You know, there's so many properties.
If you look in San Jose, and actually one of my old roommates from was up at East Bay, his mom owned, like, there's like 4 people that own like the majority of apartment buildings in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Like they own like 90% of it. That's
Wow.
amongst 4 people.
Wow.
His mom is one of them.
Uh-huh.
They are constantly in like this big rat race to see who could make the most off their properties and become the biggest in that area.
Right.
So she'd rather have no one in those units than than let someone live there. Her own son tried to rent from her, and she wouldn't offer. She offered him a $200 discount on a studio apartment that was going to cost him $2,300 to live there.
Jesus.
And it's like there's all these open homes that no one lives in. Like they go to waste.
Yeah. No, I'm sure.
And like it seems like society completely has forgotten that those areas even exist at all. Like they've forgotten that like, okay, there's enough housing to where everyone could have a home, but it's all just driven by like the amount of money you can make off those units. But it's like, it's just a disgusting cycle.
It is. I mean, it's, and I mean, what are you going to do to landlords that, I mean, it has to be regulated,
Yeah, they own the property. It's like legally you can't do anything.
Right. It's like it's an open market. There's only so much you can intervene, but at the same time, there's so many other problems. I mean, Jesus Christ, I was paying $3,000 in San Francisco.
Yeah,
$3,000 a month.
It's ridiculous.
Can't believe I did that.
And yours was one bed. Well, it was kind
one bedroom.
It was
bath.
one bedroom. Yeah, it was because that little living area.
It was really a 2-bedroom without a living room, but we just made the
yeah.
other bedroom a living room.
I mean, when you say 2-bedroom without a living room, you might as well say 1 bedroom.
You're right, exactly. Yeah. So that was a cute place, though. It was nice. We had some good memories there. But yeah, man, I used to just get like those Costco Kirkland granola bars.
Yeah.
And I would just bring. I'd have this jacket. It was really cold in San Francisco. I had this fat jacket, and I would just stuff like 5 or 6 in my pocket. And every day I would go to the gym in the morning. This was back when I was really, really active. I'd go to the gym in the morning, and I'd pass a couple out, and then on my way back, I'd have like, I'd have my routine of like homeless people I would see, and then I would just hand it to them. I don't know.
It's tough. There's not.
It's like you feel helpless,
There's so little you can do. Like,
right, exactly.
I can pass out meals like as much as I possibly can. Like it's, I mean, like, realistically I could get a project done like probably like once a month. Like if I'm really pushing. Right. Okay, but you still need to eat every day. You know what I mean? Right. It's like it doesn't really. It might help make their day, but at the same time, like it doesn't change. It doesn't fix the problem.
Yeah, I want to run something by you because we've talked about this many times on the podcast, and one of the things that we had talked about was like asylums, kind of like old school. I mean, it's kind of have a bad ring to it, but insane asylums. We had talked about. I mean, we kind of think that at this point we need to bring some type of asylum back for mental illnesses, drugs, things like that, for like rehab and treatment and things like that. That to me seems like the only possible solution to this problem, because like if housing's obviously one issue, but really an asylum may fix both of those issues if you could register your address there, but that's another story. But if you don't like kind of fix the root of the problem, like, okay, you've gone down this path. Now a lot of people are, addicted to drugs. It's like if you give them a home, you don't have the rehab there, Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about that solution?
Well, again, the word asylum has such like a negative connotation, but in reality, it's because of the terrible things that people did when they were in those situations. Like, you know what I mean? Like the people who worked at those institutions were absolutely horrible people.
Oh yeah, like you think about.
Oh, back in the day.
You think about like how
we are limited on time here. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point, because you think about how something like Hollywood like has recently become more, like the truth is being told in the sense of like how evil old Hollywood was in terms of the way it treated women and stuff. So
minorities too.
Exactly, and then you think of like insane asylums and how they have this bad rep, and I think it would be good to bring them back, because I feel like, I can think of a 21st century nurse, right, and I feel like she's way sweeter than an early 20th century nurse, Well,
so the way it would, like, the thing is, like, the way those places would work, it wasn't treatment, it was just containment. And that was the problem.
Right.
Is that if you're not treating issues, and containment just becomes a prison cell. Right. Like my uncle was in an asylum probably from when he was 15, because he was autistic, and not even like low end autistic. He was very high end autistic, very smart guy. He just would have a lot of tantrums. Like that's literally all it was.
Right.
He was in his parents put him in a home, like an asylum, basically from like ages like 8 through 15. Then like he was in one from like 17 to 27. Like he was in there for a pretty large majority of his life.
Long time. Yeah.
And they were terrible to him. Like they did terrible things to him. And the problem was that they never treated those problems. Like if, in my opinion, like if you were going to bring any sort of type of home back like that, those facilities, a lot of them have not been torn down. Like a lot of them, the structures are still there. Oh,
probably, yeah.
Those things came with rooms. They had showers. They had bedroom, like, you know what I mean? Like they had entertainment areas. And I feel like there is a way to make those places become a community rehabilitation center. Like somewhere where it's like, because that's what my friend Allie actually wants. One of her goals is to make a home where it's not about keeping you out of society. It's about building a society within. Like it's like learning how to deal with those struggles and having support systems around you in a safe area where you feel like you can work on those issues. Like that's the problem, is that a lot of places they're not helping. They're just putting you in a small area. And that's kind of what again, I hate the word asylum, but like a modern day facility would be something where they can work. Like, you know what I mean? Like you bring jobs to the facility.
They could work for the facility, do something like that.
There's even jobs you could bring
job
there.
fair,
like,
right. Yeah.
There's jobs you could bring there that they could teach them how to work remotely from like certain, like those that can use computers, they can. There's like labor you can do with your hands. You know, there's building things, there's things you could teach them. There's like woodworking, there's metalworking, stuff like that. Like things that people can learn and that they can develop like valuable skills for life.
Absolutely.
While also staying on there, getting paid, making money, cleaning themselves up, while also being able to have that treatment right there at the facility.
Yeah, I think that we need to give it another go as a society. I mean, maybe not to call them asylums, but
rebrand it. Yeah.
Yeah. Community centers.
I like what Kyle's talking
and
about.
I honestly think that it would save money in the long run because the damage that's being done outside, the lack of, travel and things like that, and getting these people back into society is also going to help it as well, right? But let's wrap it up here because I think it's literally about to shut down.
Yeah, let's call it.
So, Kyle, man, thank you so much. This was a great conversation.
Yeah, thank you, dude.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on.